Okay, so you're going to take out your classwork. We're going to do 1 and 3 together. If you do not have this paper or you have lost this paper, it will be in the file cabinet, folder 25, because yesterday was the 25th. So if you don't have it, file cabinet, folder 25. We're good? Okay. So I'm going to make it a little bigger for you to see up there. And we're going to go through 1 and 3 together. And then hopefully you'll have enough confidence to do the remaining independently, right? All right, so looking at number 1, it's asking us to take the relation from this graph that this graph is representing, and we're going to try to write on this. My computer is doing something weird, my bad. I just need this to be down here. Okay, so when you're listing out ordered pairs, just like you read a book from left to right, you typically want to read your graph from left to right. Does that make sense? Okay, so reading from left to right, what is our first point? -5, 0, right? And then our next point is at -3, -2. Our next point is at -2, and then we went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. -2, 7. Yeah. And then our next point is at 1, +2. And we're at 1, -5. Okay, so that's our ordered pair. Because this is a set, we're going to put little braces around it to represent it as a set. If you want to be extra special, you can put commas in between, but not necessary. And that's our set, our relation written as an ordered pair set. Easy enough? Yeah? Okay. So then we're going to now make this into a table. When you're writing out a table, for your table, you're going to need to make sure that it is in numerical order. So we're going to go from least to greatest. For your X values, your domain is written in order from least to greatest. So in this case, my domain is, I'm going to have -5, -3, -2, and 1, and another 1, because there's 2 sets of 1s. Okay, so then I'm going to now write their outputs. So -5 output is 0. -3's output is -2. -2 output is 7. 1 has 2 outputs at a 2 and at -5. Yeah? Okay. All right, so we've now done graph, ordered pairs, table. Now we're going to look at a mapping. A mapping is a little bit different. With a mapping, you're going to write both values in numerical order. So your X's and your Y's are going to be listed from least to greatest. And the key thing here is you do not repeat values. Do not repeat values. Okay, this is the only time you do not repeat the values is on a mapping. So we are going to go from least to greatest. And we do not repeat the values. Capiche? All right. So here we go. For our X, our domain is simply -5, -3, -2, and 1. Still with me? Okay. For our range from least to greatest is going to be, if I can look at the graph, I start at -5, right? So we have -5, then we have -2, then we have 0, then we have +2, and then we have 7. And then to show which input goes with which output, you draw a line. So for -5, its output is 0. For -3, its output is -2. For -2, its output is 7. And for 1, it has 2 outputs. It has an output at -5 and an output at 2. And that is how you create a mapping. Questions about creating the mapping? Is it doable? Okay. This is just an example of a relation. And the reason why this is just a relation and not a function is because what? Why is this just a relation and not a function? What did we just say in our exit ticket? What makes something a function? The X values do not repeat. However, if you look here, what happens? The X values repeat. So that's why this is just a relation and not a function. Does that make sense? Because my X values repeat. So this is a relation, not a function. Okay, so that's example 1, problem 1. I'm going to leave you to do 2. We're going to flip over and do 3 together. Cool? Okay. We're going to flip over and we're going to do 3 together. So on 3, it wants us to list out the domain of this set. When you're listing out the domain and range, it's going to repeat. The only time we do not repeat is for a mapping. All the other time, what you have, you list out, okay? So the domain, you're going to write both from least to greatest. So least to great. And we do repeat values. Okay? So the domain here, I'm going to put my brace. My braces aren't very cute, but they get the job done. My smallest X value is -3, followed by 0, followed by 4, followed by 7. Okay. My range, my lowest Y value is what? -5, followed by 1, then 2, then 4. Okay, so question, is this a function? And the answer is yes. Why is it a function? My X's do not repeat. Okay, so there's no repeats here, so therefore it is a function. All right, so for the next 15 minutes, you're going to go through and do the remaining problems. Cool? If you finish before that time is up, take that time to work on your notebook.